All over the island, I found apartments that were once $300 to $400 now going from $600 to $800.
We do want to ensure that it is a free market, but it should be a fair market. I don't think it's right just because there's a demand that you suddenly triple the rent, the cost of rent.
To achieve the higher rent, some people are forced to leave their homes without much warning.
We do have some laws in our books that state that give you like a time period for when you have to move out of an apartment, and if you're on a month to month without a contract, it's 15 days. And I have a bill that I'm trying to extend it to 30 days. But we've been, talking to our constituents, and I've met with my colleagues, and we are currently working on legislation that will help protect, our people.
High rents are one thing, but I was not prepared for what I heard when I called about an apartment in this building.
Are you Chinese?
That's right. Before telling me how much the apartment cost or when I could move in, he asked me if I was Chinese. Just to make sure it wasn't a mistake, I asked a coworker to call about the same apartment.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. I see your signage outside, apartment for rent. Can I inquire about that?
Are you Chinese?
No, I'm not.
Two different phone calls to this same apartment building, and we were both told the same thing. We could not rent because we're not Chinese. Blatant discrimination and completely illegal. The problem is there's not much in the way of recourse.
But for foreign investors who come in and they want to do housing projects, if they use federal money, our money, then of course they have to comply with us. But if they're just, building housing units, apartments, using their own money, they just need to comply with, zoning, commerce, finance, all those other agencies.
There is a local CNMI law that prohibits discrimination in housing. We have a local Fair Housing Act.
Attorney Michael Dott says these types of discriminatory practices could be a result of our growing economy.
It's a lack of education, and it's also because we are now experiencing a housing boom. We've been in basically a depression for like 10, 15 years. And so 10, 15 years, landlords were struggling to fill their units. Now, apartment buildings are being bought up and everyone's being evicted, and rents are going up, and it's harder to get apartments. And we also have new investors in the islands who haven't been here before, so they're not as aware of American law.
So what to do if you find yourself a victim of discrimination?
This agency is responsible for enforcing fair housing, and all the complaints should be coming to this office, and then that's when we take in the complaints and then we investigate.
And what happens after that investigation?
Quite frankly, even our agency, because of that law that was passed 18 years ago, that was a long time ago, and we also need training for our staff. We have a fair housing officer that we assigned last year, and then we're just kind of putting all our stuff together so that we have everything in place.
But till everything is in place, calls like this will continue to happen. Hi, I called you yesterday about the apartment. You told me I couldn't rent because I wasn't Chinese. What's the reason for that?
I don't know, our boss.
Your boss says you can only rent to Chinese people?
Yeah.
So the whole building's filled with Chinese people?